Doctor on YouTube, and in today's video, I'm gonna be talking about some Oxybenzone-Free sunscreens that work amazingly on dark skin, so keep watching. So you might be thinking to yourself, like, what's the beef with oxybenzone as well as octinoxate, which is both two chemicals that are commonly found in chemical sunscreens. So while there is, some arguments on both ends of the argument, one of the main arguments that, from what I've seen, is that oxybenzone can be absorbed into the body. There are studies and tests being done on whether or not that is harmful. There's the potential there, so a lot of people are steering clear of that type of chemical in their sunscreens for that reason. There's also the argument that the sunscreens, once they get dissolved into the oceans, into the water supplies, that it also harms, the marine life as well as the coral reefs. I don't know why coral is a very hard word to say, but the coral reefs are being damaged as a result of this chemical that's in sunscreens getting into, the ocean. So there's also a counter argument about the coral reefs that if I had to put it in my own analogy from what I've heard from some cosmetic chemists and dermatologists, is that, the issue with the coral reefs, in my own analogy, would be like if someone was stabbed multiple times, like big, huge stab wounds, and they're on the ground and they're bleeding out, and then you come by and kind of nick them with some paper and give them a paper cut, and they begin to bleed, and people are, instead of talking about all the stab wounds, they're talking about that paper cut. So that's kind of like the counter argument where, some cosmetic chemists and, some other experts in the area are saying that it's kind of like there are much bigger things to worry about with the coral reefs, and that this small study is, maybe not the thing that we need to focus on. We need to focus on climate change and, other things that are going on with the environment. Now, I'm not trying to persuade you either way, but if you're someone who is looking to not have this ingredient in your sunscreens, I want to be able to give you some that you can try, that I myself have tried, that I think that you'd probably like, but, obviously we're not all gonna like the same things. So I'm just gonna share the ones that I've tried that work well on dark skin from the standpoint of them not looking ashy. So now, because I'm all about giving you choices, these list of sunscreens are not the only ones. Like I say in a lot of my sunscreen videos, and I don't know if maybe people, bypass this part or whatever, I have literally tried hundreds of sunscreens in other videos here on YouTube, and then there's been a long, exhaustive list on my blog of sunscreens I've tried over the years. So I will link both of those below in the description box, so make sure you check that out. My thing is just giving you choices, and again, I just want you to use sunscreen. Find one that works great for you, feels good, looks good, because then you wear it. So since a lot of these physical/mineral sunscreens don't contain these chemicals anyway in their formulations, a lot of them are inherently oxybenzone-free. But let's get into this list. Number one, Black Girl Sunscreen. So this sunscreen, it's a moisturizer and SPF all in one. So if you're someone where you're like, listen, I don't want to do too much, I want the least amount of steps as possible, you might really enjoy this sunscreen. It blends in really well in the skin. If you like a really moisturizing sunscreen, you are going to love this. When I tried it, now I tried this sunscreen probably maybe a little over 2 years ago. It felt really nice and moisturizing on the skin. I loved it more so on my body than I did my face. So, keep that in mind whether you have oily skin or dry skin and vice versa. You can find this at the Black Girl Sunscreen website as well as at Target, and I will link in the description box where you can buy it. And if you haven't guessed by the name, it's a Black-owned sunscreen brand, so check it out. So number two, the Supergoop Glow SPF 50. Now, okay, so I'm both here for and also very concerned, a concerned citizen, about some of the like trendy kind of like very cosmetic sunscreens. So I'm here for it because it makes the, you know, obviously you're gonna wanna put something on that gives you a glow and, you know, looks good on the skin. But some of these I wonder, I'm like, are people applying enough? Because if you're not applying enough sunscreen, then you're not getting that full SPF that's on the label. And you know, that can be, you know, it's better than not wearing any sunscreen at all, but it's still not great. Well, I want to note that although this Supergoop glow stick does not have oxybenzone in it, it does have octinoxate in it. Also check out the description box for more info. But I put this one on the list because it is something that's really fun to use. It's a glow stick so that you can, you know, reapply like on any area of the skin. You can put it on the body and it's gonna give the body a really nice glow. I love it especially for the body because I think you're more apt to be a little bit more liberal with applying a sun protection product on your body than you are your face. So I do like that. It can be a little bit on the expensive side, and you can use it on your face. But my thing is, with a product that glows like that, like, I don't think you're gonna, you are inherently not gonna put as much because, you know, you're not gonna wanna be glowing all over your face like that, you know, unless maybe you're taking a picture, you know, you're doing it for the gram. But in real life, I'm kind of like, are you gonna do that? But I added it to the list because it is something that is oxybenzone-free. I actually did like it, but you know, this is one where I'm gonna put a big asterisk where it's like, but make sure you're using enough for it to make sense. So number 3, the Peter Thomas Roth Water Drenched SPF. I believe this one is a, well, I'll put it on the screen. But this one is something that I recently reviewed here on the channel, so make sure you check out the full review. But this is a great moisturizer with sunscreen already combined in it. It's, you know, for the face, and it feels super lightweight. So if you're someone where you really need that hydration, especially if you have dry skin, and you know, during the summer, you want that hydration, but you don't want something to feel very heavy, this is amazing. The price point, on the other hand, can be a little like, what the hell? But in that video, I also mentioned some other products that are kind of similar to it that are on a, you know, a lower price range. So make sure you check out that video, linked above in the cards as well as in the description box. Number 4, I'm just gonna group a whole bunch of sunscreen together. These are all going to be moisturizers with sunscreen. So again, they're for the face. You could put these on the body, but like you get such a small amount that it's like, you know, you'd be done with it if you try to put it on your body after like 2 goes. But anyway, so I'm grouping these all together because they're all from the same brand, but they're the Olay Whips with SPF. So I'm talking the Olay Regenerous Whip SPF 25, the Olay Total Effects Whip SPF 25, the Olay Luminous Whip SPF 25. These are all great facial sunscreens. You get your moisturizer step and your sunscreen step all in one. These are really great if you are a makeup wearer and if you've used sunscreens before and you kind of felt like it's not going well with the makeup. Like, I want to be protected from the sun and be beat. So these are great to look at for that particular reason, because there's also some really cool blurring properties with each of these. Some are more blurring than others. Like the Luminous, I think, has more of the blurring action in it than the others do. But of course, you're gonna pick these moisturizers best based on what your skincare needs are, so make sure you look through that. There's also an Olay Regenerous Whip SPF 40 that recently came out. This one feels really great on the skin as well. I actually did a blog post on it, which I will link in the description box. You guys know I do a lot of on-air camera work for Olay, and I love that I can, you know, be on television, but also because, you know, it's a product that I really love, a product that, you know, is accessible. You know, you can find it at a lot of places and it's affordable and it works really well. So the Olay family of moisturizers with sunscreen, definitely a go to look at. Oh, number 5, again, I'm kind of grouping 2 together. These are the Olay Sun, both the makeup primer and the shine protection SPF 35. Now, these are both straight up sunscreens, meaning that, you know, typically you would put your moisturizer on and you put the sun protection on top of it. You know, make sure that this moisturizer has some time to settle, and then you put these on top. This is great if you are someone who, you know, you have a moisturizer you really love, but it doesn't provide SPF protection. You can layer this on top. You could also get away, some skin types can get away with wearing these on their own, but you know, keep in mind that you still want to make sure that you're hydrating the skin, so maybe like a hydrating serum might be a step that you put on before you put these sunscreens on. But I really like these, especially the shine protection. The shine protection is the one that I wear the most because I have oily skin. It's great because I love the way that it glides on the skin. It definitely gives me some shine protection throughout the day, and it also works like a makeup primer to, you know, so your beat can be beat. Now the primer one also works well as a primer, but for me, I just prefer the shine protection one more for my oily skin, but there's also another version. The other version you probably might like more, you know, during the colder months if you have oily skin, or you may gravitate towards that one more if you have, you know, closer to like a normal to dry skin. So up next, again, Oxybenzone-Free chemical sunscreen. This is the Neutrogena Beach Defense. This is one of my favorite body sunscreens. I've loved this probably since it first came out. And for me, with body sunscreens, I don't want to spend a ton of money on a body sunscreen. So I'm typically going towards, you know, the ones that are on sale. You go through, or at least I go through body sunscreens so quickly that I'm like, I'm not spending a bunch of money on it. But Neutrogena Beach Defense, definitely one that I have tried and loved. Not all of Neutrogena's sunscreens are Oxybenzone-free. So if you're looking within, you know, Neutrogena as a brand, just be cognizant of the fact that they have many different sunscreens, because, you know, everyone's got a different lifestyle and, you know, sunscreen need, and, you know, Neutrogena tries to, you know, be able to provide for you. One thing to keep in mind is that you really want to be cognizant of checking labels, because like I mentioned before, Neutrogena has some sunscreens that do have oxybenzone in them. You want to read the label, because even the same sunscreen like family, like for instance, the Beach Defense, not all of the Beach Defense ones may be oxybenzone free. So you want to make sure you've, you know, flip the container around, read the label, and make sure. And that goes for any brand. Just kind of flip in the back and make sure that, you know, it says what it is. It does what it does. Up next, the Neutrogena Face Mist. Now, I'll have the SPF number and all that stuff on the screen, so make sure you pay attention to the screen. But this is a new product from Neutrogena. This is Oxybenzone-Free. It is a face mist, which is, if you wear makeup, you're probably like, oh my God, yes, this is all for me. Now, I like a face mist. I like the idea of a face mist, or, you know, a sunscreen spray, but there are a couple of things that you got to keep in mind with them, and it's that, one, you want to make sure you apply them in a well-ventilated room, because, you know, the particles, you don't want to inhale them. Two, you want to make sure you're applying enough, because what kind of happens sometimes with sunscreen sprays, or just sprays in general, you're spraying it, but then it's like, some of it's getting on your face, but then some of it's landing somewhere here, some of it's on the floor, some of it's over there. So you want to make sure that you're applying enough. Now, the thing with sunscreen sprays is that they tell you to spray it in your hand and then apply it to your face. But if you've got makeup on, that's not gonna work. So I don't know, I'm here for sunscreen sprays, but sometimes it's like, I don't know. So another option, and these are also inherently oxybenzone free because they're mineral. There are a lot of mineral powders out there that you can use to put on top of your makeup. You can use them to touch up your makeup throughout the day and make sure you're reapplying your sunscreen. Peter Thomas Roth has one that I like, and Derma E has one as well. That's more of a affordable, but my favorite is the Peter Thomas Roth. They have one that's for oily skin, and they have one that's geared more towards drier skin. So that might be an option for touching up your makeup and making sure that you are reapplying your sunscreen throughout the day when your face is beat. And last but not least, these Walgreens brand sunscreens. We have the 50 Sport Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Oxybenzone-Free, paraben-free, fresh scent. It's water resistant for up to 80 minutes. And we have the Clear Zinc 50 SPF, Broad Spectrum SPF 50. This goes on clear, water resistant up to 80 minutes. It comes out white and it does take a little bit of, you know, manipulations for it to eventually rub in to be clear. So this is another option. Now, when I say Walgreens, I don't mean the, you know, obviously I'm talking about the Walgreens store, but Walgreens in-store brand. So Walgreens sells lots of brands, sunscreens, but they also have their own in-house brands. I like these because they're effective and it's a really good price, because typically, I don't remember how much I spent on this, but they were having some sort of like buy one, get one half off sale. So if you're really someone where you're like, you know, I don't need all of the shishi foo foo, all the ooh la la wee wee kind of stuff with my sunscreen. I just need something that's effective and something that is, you know, cost effective. You know, definitely look at these. Make sure you check out the description box, like I said before, because everything mentioned in this video will be linked there so that you can buy it and get more information. So here are some bonus ones: the Glossier Invisible Shield and the Murad Oil and Pore Control Mattifier SPF 45. So the Murad is something that is an upgrade from a Murad Oil Control moisturizer that I used to use that had SPF in it. So this one is an SPF 45. This is one of my favorite oil control moisturizers for oily skin during the warmer months. It goes on. The other one like this, the one before this, did feel a little bit thicker, but believe it or not, despite that thickness, it actually worked really well to control oil. This one, I'm guessing maybe because people complained about the texture of the last one. This one glides on the skin a little bit better, so it's easier to blend in, but you know, of course, no cast. And you also got a moisturizer here. And the Glossier, this is a straight up sunscreen, so you put your moisturizer on first and then put this on top. But this comes out clear, like that, on top of the skin. This is not going to be the last sunscreen video for me anyway, so make sure you are subscribed to this channel and you hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on that amazing information or any other amazing information that I put out on this channel. You know what I'm saying, I got good videos. So follow me on social, the links will be in the description box, and I will see you fine folks in my next video. Bye guys.